No stress.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's new to us.
Different,
Yeah.
but is it the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing?
No,
Same
it's
thing?
still Misonix, it's still
Yeah.
the debrider, but it's the new generator.
Oh, okay.
So this generator is going to be more powerful. If you ever heard that limit or saw that limit on the old one, this won't do that. Are we ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, great. So the first thing that I ask you guys to do before you actually start plugging things in, I know it's been an issue here, is to check to make sure that your foot pedal is paired. As Charlene had said, I'm going to be she's going to laminate this for you all and actually connect it. This is the instructions for how to pair it. Once you get used to it, you'll just kind of get in the habit. It also shows you on the screen, but I brought these in because it's easier. To check, you hit the gear button. So this will show you. It'll either say pairing, which means it's not connected, or it'll show this, which means it's already paired and connected and functioning. If this shows and you're like, oh, I don't really trust it, you can test it by pushing your foot pedal and it'll turn it to solid green. See? Cool. The other thing that I kind of want to show you guys is how far away it works. So I know it'll pop up a screen if the battery is running low saying it's too far away. So I'm actually going to walk over there and show you if someone can just keep an eye on it and make sure that once I push the foot pedal, it still turns green. So I tried to go in the corner and it didn't work. So from all the way over here, which is probably what, 30 feet away, it still works good. And that's because I just put a brand new battery Duracell in it last week. Now the battery, they say lasts like a month depending on how long you're using it. If it's not working, if it pulls up that gray screen saying it's too far away, pop a new battery in it. I brought these for you guys. Go ahead.
Where does the battery go?
Yeah, good question. So from here, and I'll actually take the battery out and see what it does. So the battery goes in right on this section. It untwists, and it's one AA. And it shows you on the back the orientation of which direction. So plus, minus, plus goes in first. If you put minus, it's not going to work. And again, if you put a brand new battery in, it's still not working, check to make sure you put it in the right way. We all make silly mistakes. We're rushing through to get things set up. So once you put that in, twist it back on, you can go back to check to make sure you're still connected and paired. Now, if you're not, which I'm going to show you right now, did I do the pairing? No. All right, so to pair it, you go ahead and hit this button. It's going to show you the directions on the screen. Obviously, it doesn't say anything, so you're like, what do I have to do? So you can read the little directions on here. There's a couple steps. It looks like a lot because there's pictures. But basically what it's saying is you have to push this flash button, have to hold it, and there's a silver nipple right here, and there's an indentation on your machine on this top corner. You hold that silver nipple up against this. So I do it for about 5 seconds. I gotta go over here because it hurts me. I hold it, I count to 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. You let go of the button. You can set it flat on top or you can set it on the floor, whichever you prefer. After about 30 to 45 seconds, you'll see it goes to paired and connected. Make sense? If it's saying paired, but it's not saying connected, you have a bad battery. Or it doesn't have enough juice left in it for that connection. So from there, now we have to plug things in. So with the new one, it'll show you check marks based off of what you've done and what you still need to do. The second indicator is that your lights are going to be blue until you plug things in. Blue here and blue on the side, 2 and 3. Once you plug things in, they'll turn to green. Green means go, you're all good. What is new, because it's a new machine, you have new hand pieces. They can handle more power, they're less likely to crack because they're thicker plastic, so all around it's better. So from here, what's new in your tray, you're going to see that you have this new cover. For debridement cases in Sonic 1, you won't need this. This is for the bone cutting, but hold on to it, don't throw it out, you can just leave it in the tray. And again, this is used for a cylindrical probe, which they don't use a whole lot here as far as I understand, but again, don't throw it out. If you're not going to use it, just leave it in your tray. After a case, put it back in and it'll be re-sterilized. It's not a disposable piece. The newest thing is that there's a cap. So you'll get it like this and it'll be capped. You can't just pull the cap off. It won't come off. You have to release it. It's like a Chinese finger trap. There's like that little spring-loaded thing, so you pull down a little bit and it releases it. It's the same thing if you're pulling it out of the machine. You have to pull down a little bit for it to release, and you can pull it out. Make sense? So when you plug it in, red dot to red dot. If you're turn slightly. It's not gonna work, don't force it, just give it a second, turn it a little bit, and make sure you're lined up, and it turns to green, right? Good. Secondly, your tubing. If you're using suction and irrigation, they are now connected. If you're using the cylindrical probe, it doesn't have the suction, so you'll see there's a little difference there. You only have one tube, but otherwise, you guys are mainly gonna see it like this, where both are already connected, and there's silver, little gray silver pucks. I call them like little hockey pucks, and they're magnetic to your machine here. So, when you're plugging them in, again, it turns from blue to green. It's a magnetic kind of connection, so it is a little tight, so if you want to feel it after we're all done, for the purpose, I'll just show you. You hear it kind of snap on, and that's because they're connected, like I said. It's a tight fit, so you'll notice. From there, let's show you this again. Now you have 2 check marks. So you have one last thing to do, and that's to hook in your irrigation. That still goes in the top. Make sure it's pushed all the way in so you don't pinch it, and snap it down. Once I do that, it's gonna automatically go to prime. So before I do that though, I wanna show you this, your suction tubing. This needs to be pushed down in here. That's what helps create the circuit, and it will do its own suction into a canister on the back. So from there, close your irrigation, it'll turn green, and you'll notice it automatically moves on to self-prime. During the self-priming, after you have your saline hooked up and everything's kind of connected and plugged in and spike the bag, you can let it prime on its own, and it'll kind of do its thing. It'll stop automatically, or if you notice, hey, it's already primed, you can stop it and let them move on to the next step. It's kind of up to you how you want to do it. If you're busy, you can just let it do its thing. From there, you get to this screen. You still have to make sure that your ultrasound is on. So like the old machine where you had to turn on the ultrasound and enable it, same thing here, but it's touchscreen. You have a button on the top that lights it up. That's how you know it's on. For your suction, you also have a button, and you'll hear it kick on. Make sense? Questions? Yes, ma'am.
Do you hook up your irrigation before or after you put those hockey pucks in the...
Either way, it's up to you. I do it after just because it's, turn that off. You mean into the saline bag or into here?
Into the saline bag.
I would do it after, just to make sure, because you don't want to have your irrigation kind of like connected and you're trying to fumbling around to make sure it's all. I would plug all this in and then I would spike the bag. That's just my preference. It's really up to you on how you want to do it, but at least that way, right now, this is just kind of hanging and you can move it around and adjust how you need to.
And the suction part, does that get connected to the canister?
Yes. And there's one other tube, I'm not sure where it is because it's not on here, but there's another tube that connects to the machine to the canister, which will make it a full connection and it'll do its own self-suction.
Is that a disposable piece?
It's typically not, but it's not on here, so I don't know where it is.
It's one of those like blue, like small
Yeah,
adapters that
when
we
we do
use
the
for.
candy.
Yes, it's one of those. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say if you guys have extra, I've seen hospitals throw them out. You don't have to throw them out because they don't get contaminated because the piece from here to the back of the generator never actually gets any fluid in it. It's just your canister and the suction tubing here. Questions? No? Good. Like I said, when you're taking it apart, you won't be able to get this out unless you pull back a little bit. So you pull back on the silver and it releases. And that's all I have for you. You guys want to